Welcome back to the Daily Dean. So, right with me, I have on my monitor a textbook, my textbook from the last semester on measuring intelligence. And I saw it and I was thinking, wow, this goes over IQ tests. And I feel like, personally, IQ tests are a little silly. It's not necessarily the idea of measuring somebody's intelligence, because that's what this is about, but more like the number of the value of an IQ score, right? Because it's placed in culture. Why do we value, like, what when I was younger, right, hearing somebody who says they have a high IQ, it was like, yo, this dude's pretty smart, I should pay attention to them. But, like, right, understanding what it means and understanding where the IQ score comes from, I think, is valuable as well. So, how do you measure intelligence using an IQ score? Well, you must know your mental age and your chronological age. So let's say you're 6 years old, right? And you're 2 years ahead of your peers. So mentally, you have a mental age of 8 years old, right? You compare better to 8-year-olds in your performance on an IQ test than your 6-year-old peers. So you could say that your chronological age is 6 years old and your mental age is 8. You divide that. 8 over 6 is 1.33333, right? And you multiply that by 100. 1.33333 multiplied by 100 is about 133, right? And that means your IQ is 133. So if you were comparable to your peers, you had a mental age of 6 and a chronological age of 6, you divide those. 6 over 6 is equal to 1. You multiply that by 100, and you have an IQ score of 100. So basically, that means that the average would be 100, and comparing to that, your IQ, if it's higher than 100, that means you're above average. If it's lower, it's less. But if you flex that, you're a goofball. Like, I have no other way of putting it. There's no value, there's no intrinsic value to an IQ test other than for research purposes. And saying, oh yeah, I have an IQ of 150, shut up, right? There's no, like, you have better things to flex than an IQ test. So, that out of the way, what do I think intelligence is? I feel like intelligence is more than a single number. There's this idea that, oh, if you're smart, you naturally perform better in other things. And okay, you have research phenomenon right here. Charles Spearman, good dude. He said that school children who did well in math also did well in reading, supporting this idea that if you're smart, then you must excel in all areas. Well, that's interesting, Mr. Spearman, but I don't think that's the case. People can have a lot of different... oh, wow. I just realized that's a little bit arrogant and obnoxious to me to say, right? I mean, technically this was over 100 years ago, in 1904, so he doesn't know the same things that we do now. But I do not think that intelligence is necessarily so broad and so encompassing, or and not encompassing, or so general. I feel like intelligence can be measured in a wide variety of subjects and areas. What do I mean by that? That's a great question. I feel like if you're good at one thing, that makes you intelligent in it. If you're intelligent in, languages, right? Learning languages. If you're intelligent in that, but you may not excel in math, or you may not excel in reading compared to your peers, that doesn't make you stupid, that doesn't make you dumb, that doesn't make you, an idiot. I feel that just indicates you're better in some other subjects than in another. And you shouldn't ridicule yourself for not comparing to your peers so well, because you have other things that you can value yourself for. You have things that you are talented in, or that you are skilled in, or that you put effort into, that makes you more, that doesn't necessarily compensate for those things, but shows that you are more than just your performance in an IQ test. They're stupid, and in test scores in general. So don't stress about it. Don't stress about your scores in one subject or another, because you have things that you are good at. There are some things that you maybe don't even know you're good at yet, because you haven't tried it or you haven't practiced it, but you can be intelligent in some subject, some area, first-person shooters, rhythm games, reading, math, languages, all these other neat things that make you more than just your score. Oh, bars. So don't stress about it, right? You're more than just your math or your other ways of measuring intelligence. I'll give some more depth to that. If, here's a good one. I'm not very good in some video games, right? And some people may be better than me. You can learn from that. You can examine that the distribution of skill makes people at the higher end intelligent, better, superior, not superior, that's an odd connotation. Just more skilled. And they have, not more intelligence in the game, but it shares the same sentiment, right? Somebody is better than average than me, who is, maybe here, maybe here, maybe here, whatever. And it should have the same meaning as being top of the class in your grades, your GPA, your, reading scores, or your math scores, or tests, or whatever. Because you have things that you're good at. Whatever they are, whatever they may be, even if you haven't found it, you have things that you're going to try, that you're going to practice, that you may enjoy at first. There's this kind of curve in learning a new skill. It's like Alex Boyd, he has a great channel on learning things that goes over how you learn things and the curve of happiness to, struggling to excelling. Because after you get past that struggle, it's like, hey, now I get to practice as much as I want. But anyways, point being, don't stress about your scores. Measuring intelligence is far wider than just your performance in math, or your performance on an IQ test, or your performance in English. So if you struggle in any of those subjects that are typically deemed to make you, smart or not, I wish there was less value placed on it and more value placed on the other subjects that you may excel in. So that's all. I hope you have a wonderful week and happy holidays.